The quorum call be suspended.
Without objection.
Mr. President, the random violence on the streets of Chicago results in Monday morning reports that break your heart. 100 people shot. 100 people shot on the 4th of July weekend. The following weekend, 50. The weekend after that, 70. It never stops. These mass shootings have become part of life in many cities across America, and it's a heartbreaking reality. There are many ways to look at it. I've tried my best to understand it and to respond from a legislative point of view. But as we contemplate the possibilities and debate the opportunities that we have to change things, the killing just goes on and on and on. The city of Chicago, like many cities in the United States, is awash in guns. Awash in guns. The police, I believe, the statistic, have confiscated 16,000 so far this year and still counting. Thousands and thousands and thousands of guns. In the roughest parts of Chicago, you wave a couple $20 bills and you'll have a handgun in a matter of minutes. And that really is no age check involved in it. Young kids, as much as older folks, buying these guns right and left, claiming they're for self-defense, and many times just putting them into the machinery of crime and death that has become such a predictable part of life in that great city. Chicagoans across every possible demographic this morning are shocked and grieving to learn that another Chicago police officer was killed in the early morning hours. The slain officer was just 29 years old, 29. She was assigned to the community safety team, a special unit of officers from various districts who were pooled and sent to the meanest, most dangerous hotspots in the city. Her name has not been released. She and another Chicago police officer were shot last night when they pulled over a car in the Inglewood neighborhood on Chicago's south side. The second officer is hospitalized as well and fighting for his life. 2 suspects have been arrested and a third is being sought. Gun violence and gun death are daily threats in many neighborhoods. Neighborhoods where it's easier to find a gun than to find a job. Sadly, it's increasingly a mortal threat to the Chicago police officers who work in these neighborhoods. Several months ago, I had an impromptu, unreported meeting with Chicago police force and just invited anyone in who wanted to sit with a senator and try to explain what's going on. Well, 8 of them showed up. They're pretty well representative of the Chicago Police Department, black, white, and brown, male and female, Hispanic, African American, young and old. And they talked about the world they lived in and how the odds were against them on the streets of Chicago. The bad guys just have too damn many guns. And that is a reality. They don't buy those guns in the city of Chicago, incidentally. They buy them outside of Chicago, Northwest Indiana. Gun shows with no background checks. The gangbangers just take a 15, 20-minute trip over the Indiana-Illinois border, go to a gun show and load up their trunks with more guns, bring them back in and sell them in the streets of Chicago. That's a reality. And guns come from unlikely places. Too many guns come from states like Louisiana and Mississippi, where they have gun standards that are weaker than some other places. But they also come from downstate Illinois. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat that. Those are the reports. It troubles me too, because when I talk to the police, they say we need federal help. What they'd like to be able to do is to try to track these guns, try to determine their sources and cut them off. The agency that does it is the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency. We are trying now, desperately trying now, to get the approval of the Senate for a person to head that agency. And no surprise, the ranks are closed against this person on the other side of the aisle. Those who are listening closely to the gun lobby are trying their best to make sure that ATF, this federal agency, doesn't have strong leadership, doesn't exercise all its authority under the law to make us safer. That doesn't make it any easier for the Chicago police, and they end up paying the price. The latest fallen hero is the first Chicago police officer killed by gunfire in more than 2.5 years. But nearly 40 Chicago police officers have been shot or shot at in the line of duty this year. That is part of the duty, a responsibility they face as they prowl the streets and alleys of that great city. Chicagoans mourn for the police officer who lost her life, and we're going to pray desperately for the recovery of the wounded officer. But thoughts and prayers are not enough to end gun violence. In Chicago and nearly every community in America, we all know that. We need better laws to keep guns out of the hands of criminals and also out of the hands of people with serious mental illness and others who shouldn't have them either. America's families and police officers deserve our best effort to make the streets safer in Chicago and many other American cities. Mr. President, I ask that the next statement I make be a separate part of the record.
Without objection.
Thank you.